How's it going, Martians? Welcome back to another report. In this one, we're going over an article from News BTC titled Ripple CEO Claims Half of the Top 20 Banks Will Own Cryptos in 2020. Is this feasible? Personally, I think so. But real quick, before we hop into this video, if you're new to my channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe and ring that bell so that you can be notified of all my newest XRP Ripple related videos. In this one, before we hop in, let's talk about the wording here, right? Half of the top 20 banks. Why half? Why the top 20? Why not half of the top 30 or the top 50 or half of the top 10? Why half of the top 20? Could it be because Ripple is already partnered with half of the top 20 and that they've been working very closely with those same institutions for nearly half a decade now? Institutions such as Bank of America, MUFG, Standard Chartered, so on and so forth, Santander, right? We could go on all day. Most everybody in the space knows, Ripple has over 300 banking partners. And so when he claims that half of the top 20 banks will own crypto in 2020, I think Brad means that they will own a very specific digital asset by the name of, am I allowed to say it? Is it XRP? Did you hear me? Okay. So, fun and games aside, let's hop into this article. So this article, written by Cole Peterson, starts off, the finance industry as a whole has been hesitant to embrace or adopt crypto in any forms, with many major figures within the industry claiming that Bitcoin and other digital assets are simply speculation tools that investors use to try and turn quick profits, rather than revolutionary technologies that could help usher in a new era of digital finance. And in many regards, I think that that's very true. I think that most people in Bitcoin are just in Bitcoin because they want to get rich, and because they think that they're going to get rich because Bitcoin doubled it or tenfolded in value once before. Why can't it do it again, right? And so I'm not shaming anybody who's in XRP for the same purpose, and let's be honest, I'm in XRP because I expect to make a profit. However, I think like many people who are in XRP, such as yourself, and if you're listening, I'm assuming that you're invested in XRP at this point because hardly anybody outside of XRP is watching XRP related videos, right? But at any rate, I think that the reason why we're actually in this asset over any of the others is because we understand how adoption of such technologies operates. We actually researched how Google and the internet titans like Amazon entered into the mainstream and became the titans they are. We know that it wasn't about luck. It was about engineering and targeting and knowing, or first off knowing and then targeting your consumers, your audience, the group who you need to be on your side in order for your business model to be a success. And Ripple's customers, Ripple's target audience is the financial institutions, is big banks, is small banks, is everything to do with the traditional financial system that most of these assets, like Bitcoin and others, aim to usurp and overthrow and disrupt their business models and throw them under a bus. Whereas Ripple, like the Amazon, like numerous other websites that have popped up over the years that have actually partnered with the old guard, as it were, with groups like Walmart and with I'm trying to think of any other numerous examples, like yeah, the idea is that the internet moguls of today have partnered with the traditional, they're essentially the older version of them through partnerships so that they could gain traction into the greater marketplace, into the greater consumer marketplace. And that's what Ripple's doing. And that's why I think we all expect to be successful in this, right? At any rate, that rambling aside, to jump back in here, so in spite of this, the view on the market, one leader within the crypto industry is now offering a bold prediction for how big banks will take to cryptocurrency in 2020. And if he is proven correct, the nascent technology could be on the verge of massive global adoption. And it really could be. I think that we are right there. I think, if anybody's been listening to this channel for a long time, I did get swept up in the mania a little bit back in July because we were seeing the price rally up towards 50 cents, and I got a little swept, carried away. I was like, we could see something big happen in maybe 2019, but even then I was still saying that I wasn't expecting anything until the end of 2020, then and into 2021. Even my very first price prediction video that I made on my channel up until my most recent, my price projections are 3 to 5 years out, because that's how long I see that we're going to be stuck in this intermittent period between this current bear cycle going into the new bull trend, because we need time to build a base and then begin to slowly grow upwards in price until we reach our previous all-time high, and that's when the fun begins. All right? Now, maybe 2020 is going to be the beginning of that slow rise back to our previous all-time high. Who's to say? Now, I think Brad Garlinghouse, he's pretty confident, especially with the quote that we're going to read in this. So, in a recent blog post on Ripple's website titled 2020, the Year of the Digital Asset, the fintech company notes that they believe adoption of cryptocurrencies in the new year will be primarily focused on increasing the ease of usability for digital assets via wallets. Ripple's Senior Vice President of Product, Ashish Barilla, predicts that mobile wallets and payment apps like PayPal will adopt blockchain and cryptocurrencies in an attempt to better compete with digital banks. Adoption of digital assets and blockchain technologies among mobile wallets and super apps like Gojek, Grab, and PayPal will become more mainstream as they look to expand their services to keep up with customer demand and compete with digital banks, he explained. So, what is it that Brad Garlinghouse said specifically? So, one of the boldest predictions within the article, or within the blog post rather, came from the company's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, who notes that he anticipates half of the top 20 banks in the world to actively hold and trade digital assets in 2020. So CEO Brad Garlinghouse is even bolder, predicting that half of the top 20 biggest banks in the world will actively hold and trade XRP, digital assets, in 2020. He is also one of many on the team that believes fiat currencies will go digital in the next year, the company says in the post. So this prediction is not unprecedented, as many major banks have forayed into the crypto markets, with JP Morgan recently announcing the release of their own digital currency used for intrabank transfers. Now, to be clear about what JPM's coin is, it is a fiat peg that is issued at a 1-to-1 ratio to dollars held and burned in the process of the transaction. So it's not technically, it's a digital currency, I guess. It's more of a stable coin than a crypto or what we consider a digital asset. But I guess that's why they said digital currency. So I guess I'll give them a pass on that. It almost sounds like the article is kind of trying to slant like JPM is a digital asset, but it's not. JPM coin rather is not a digital asset. It's a crypto, pegged basically, or a fiat pegged crypto. At any rate, time will tell as to whether or not banks will really begin heavily entering the crypto markets in 2020. But if they do, it will certainly help catalyze and perpetuate further global adoption. And, I really think, as I said a few times now, I think that this is just going to be the beginning. I think that, worst case scenario, 2020 will be a year where crypto does next to nothing, where the market just goes flat, by and large, just flat. We don't set new highs, we don't set new lows. And that could be the first 3 months, how the first 3 months play out. That could be how the first 6 months play out. It could be how the first 10 months play out even. Because historically, when you look at what happens, we'll go to the price here real quick. When you look at what happens after the market bottoms out, like we did in 2016, you'll see that we had nearly a year. Let's get this so that you can actually see the price movements here. We had nearly a year where the market just went flat. After it bottomed at the end of 2015, all of 2016 and part of 2017, the price was just flat. It didn't really go to new highs and it didn't set new lows. It just condensed. And I think that's ultimately, there's a very good chance that's what 2020 will look like for price. That's a very realistic projection for what will happen with price. However, if Brad's right and half of the top 20 largest banks in the world start actively holding crypto, well, as digital asset investor says, it's on like Donkey Kong. We're going to be seeing something crazy in 2020. And so what's that price at today? 19 cents, 19.6. We got a low of 17.8 at one point back here apparently. Are you complaining about this opportunity? I hope not. I hope nobody's out there complaining. I've been like forking over every penny I possibly can afford to right now, that I can afford to risk while I'm overseas, just so that I can get an even fatter position, because this price is crazy. What's going on right now is irrational as irrational gets. The bears are euphoric. As our last article said, the bears are euphoric. And when euphoria sets in, that's when you know that you're near the end. Just like how the bulls being euphoric in 2017 marked the end of the bull market. Get ready. Reversal is coming. And I hope you're all got your bags packed up, nice and fat. Nobody's got any regrets that they didn't put in the last few dollars they probably should have, just so they could have that last 100 or whatever XRP. Because when this reverses, there will be no do-overs. There will be no, oh, well, I'll just buy on the next low. Because the next low, it's not even going to be $3. It's going to be over $4. It's probably going to be a $5 low for the next cycle, the next bear cycle after our coming bull market. And I'm not saying bull trend. I'm not saying bull cycle. No, I mean bull market, like multiple years of bullish action. Because that's what's coming to this market, because we're exiting out of the innovation phase and entering into the mainstream adoption phase, into the majority, the early majority becoming involved in this space. And that's what we're going to witness in the 2020s. So I hope you're all ready. I know I am. I'm going to keep buying more, because the more I get, the better off I'll be. And that means just the more so that I'll be able to help other people around me without feeling any stress for, throwing a few $1,000s here or there. Alright guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like on your way out. And I'll see all of you in the next one on Mars.